Hello there, and welcome to part 2 of my 3-part series on reflective writing. This topic is reflective writing instructions. So, if you didn't already watch part 1 where I describe reflective writing, please go back and watch that video first. But, just like my little notebook here, we're going to start small and have a small review on part 1. So, what is reflective writing? Reflective writing is like thinking on paper. It's about exploring your thoughts and ideas. It's not about getting the perfect grammar or the perfect vocabulary. And usually it's very messy and imperfect. That's very normal. Sometimes you can think faster than you can write, and so your ideas kind of come out messy, and that's totally fine. It's part of the process. So I'm going to give you 9 steps for reflective writing. So first, reflect briefly on the topic. So what by that I mean, when we start a new writing topic, I will give you a general idea. So for example, today it was your past work experience and life experience and finding a job in Canada. So with this, take a moment and think about it. What do you think you want to write about? And what do you think, feel, or remember about this topic? And don't worry about all your ideas connecting or making sense right now. The goal for this, for reflecting briefly, is just to get into a mind space where you are ready to choose your prompt. So, step 2. Second, read all the writing prompts. So some students, maybe they want to write a little bit about each one, or they just choose the first one. But I really want you to read all the writing prompts. Some writing prompts, maybe they'll be a little bit boring. Some might grab your attention. And that goes to our next step, which is third, choose the writing prompt that draws you in. This can be for different reasons. Maybe it feels more interesting to you, maybe it feels challenging or hard, or maybe it gives you the most emotional response. It makes you feel happy or angry. That's a good reason to choose it. But if you're not sure, if one doesn't draw you in, just choose randomly. That's okay. Again, the purpose of reflective writing is for your ideas to change, so it doesn't matter that much where you start from. But always trust your gut or your instinct. Maybe one idea will jump out to you a little bit more. Trust that feeling. It probably means you have something you want to write about that topic, even if you don't know what it is yet. Okay, step 4, or our 4th step, is to make a plan or don't. So, some people like planning. You can make a mind map or write an outline, and some people don't. Or maybe you have strong feelings about this writing prompt, so you just want to get going. Whichever one you choose, it's okay. And 5th is just write. So in this picture, I'll bring it a little closer so you can see it, or maybe I'll bring my camera down. We have a picture of a book. This isn't working so well. That's okay. It's messy at the book. Sorry, let me try that again. Not all ideas are great ideas. All right. So we have a picture of some books and some papers. Everything is messy. Uh, there are mistakes on the paper. Uh, the writing is hard to read. There's drawings, and there are lots of torn up pieces of paper. So this picture is a good way to remind you that reflective writing is messy. Don't worry about trying to be perfect. Don't restart every time you make a mistake. Just write and see where it takes you. Um, don't worry about your grammar or spelling. And also, don't worry about being right. So, uh, your opinions might change, but I just want you to write what your natural feelings are. And I want you to focus on your ideas. If it helps, you can write like you're talking to a friend. And sometimes maybe you'll get stuck. Just write something like, I don't know what to say, and keep going. And again, it's normal to be messy. The purpose is just to write. Sixth is take a break. So if you have some time, walk away from your writing. I recommend going outside if the weather is nice, maybe walking down the hallway, getting something to drink or something to eat. So even a short break is helpful. This can help you think about your ideas more deeply. Sometimes when we try to think about something for a long time, our brain gets tired. But when you stand up and do something else, walk someplace new, look at something different, the ideas will come more easily. 7, reread and reflect. So, read what you wrote. Do you think it shows what you think or feel? If not, that's okay. Change it. When you do reflective writing, often your ideas change, and that's totally okay. And if you say, yes, I wrote exactly what I feel and think, that's great. You can celebrate that. Because I think for me, uh, it's hard for me to always write exactly what I feel the first time. So if you can do it the first time, that's a great skill. Uh, Eighth, revise or don't. So, uh, revise. So when you revise, you are rewriting or you are changing what you write. So think about what your goal for reflective writing is. If your goal is to learn communication, then one way you can revise your reflective writing is to think about what you want to communicate with others, rewrite your ideas, and remember to include a topic sentence and a conclusion. This will help you build your communication skills. If your goal is building your grammar or your hard skills when it comes to English, you can fix your grammar and spelling. This is going to help you improve those hard skills. And if you maybe can't think of a way to change the sentence or say what you want to say in English, get feedback. You can ask a friend, you can ask a teacher or a tutor. So when it comes to revising, it really matters on your goal. Sometimes you don't want to revise something, and that's okay too. You still had practice with reflective writing and just putting your ideas on paper. So think about your goal before you decide to revise. So our ninth and final step is share what is comfortable for you. So find something you are proud of and feel comfortable sharing. You don't have to share the whole reflective writing piece, maybe just a paragraph. Remember at CLB6, our goal is to write 1 or 2 connected paragraphs. So if you don't want to share the whole thing, you don't have to. Reflective writing is personal, and sometimes you don't want to share, and that's totally okay. All right, so now we're going to go to choose your challenge. So here I have some people, and they're at a gym, maybe doing some exercises, and they all have different weights. And so when it comes to writing and thinking, everybody is different. So you can change reflective writing to meet you where you are now. So, for example, maybe you say, teacher, right now I can write in English, but it's hard for me to think and write sentences in English at the same time. So maybe you can start by using bullet points or making a mind map. So here's an example of a mind map. So remember, our goal is to write ideas. Bullet points are easier to write than sentences. And after, you can change it to sentences. So this is a way that you can get some writing practice in, but really focus on getting those ideas on paper. So here's another challenge. Teacher, I can write my ideas in my first language, but not in English. So maybe here, you can start by writing in your own language. So remember, the goal of reflective writing is to think about your ideas. So you don't necessarily have to do it in English. When you do it in English, it does help you practice your English skills. But you can always start in your own language, and then you can translate it or ask for help with translating it later. And finally, maybe you say, teacher, it's hard for me to write down my ideas in any language. Maybe you're not used to thinking and writing at the same time. That's totally okay. So maybe you can speak and record your voice before you write. So this is a good way to start when reflective writing feels like it's too hard. But remember that you can listen and write down your ideas. So one thing about reflective writing is that there is something that happens when we put our ideas on paper. They become more real, and our ideas start to change. And so I don't want you to record into your phone and stop. Remember that you need to turn those ideas into writing afterwards. All right, so we're getting to the end here. My final thoughts. Reflection is about learning from your past experiences. It's really about your thoughts and feelings. That's the most important part. And just because writing isn't perfect, just because it has a lot of mistakes, it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. In fact, that kind of writing, I think, can help us a lot improve in the way that we think and also the way that we write. And lastly, don't forget to be kind to yourself during the process. For many of you, reflective writing is new, it doesn't come easily, and maybe you are sitting there for a long time looking at a blank sheet of paper. That is okay. If you keep practicing, I promise it will come. All right, so thank you for listening to my video, and please come back for part 3, where I give you an example of one of my reflective writing exercises. So maybe I show you where I start, my process, and how I revise. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in part 3 soon. Bye!